Hello everyone and welcome to a short demo video on eSignet. In this demo, we'll go through a scenario where a citizen will use their national ID to authenticate themselves and avail an online service. And all of this will be done by leveraging eSignet. Now, let's go through the scenario and the user journey. So in this case, we'll be focusing on a scenario where a citizen wants to avail an eSIM and they want to log into a telecom portal using their national ID. So once they log in, they will be applying for a eSIM and they will get an eSIM. So we'll see how eSignet enables this process. Now, there are two prerequisites for this use case. One is the citizen should have a national ID, a valid national ID with them. That means they are registered with the national ID system of the country. In this case, we are using MOSIP platform as the ID system in the backend. That means MOSIP ID will serve as the national ID for the citizen. Throughout the demo, you might hear terms like UIN or VID. They are also just a different terminology to refer to the MOSIP ID. So all in all, MOSIP ID, UIN, and VID all refer to the same foundational ID, which is the national ID of the citizen. Now, the second prerequisite is that user should have a INJI wallet installed on their smartphone. So INJI wallet is nothing but a digital wallet that can be used to to download and store your verifiable credentials. Now, once they are downloaded on your phone using this particular wallet, then you can carry these credentials with you and use them as and when required for verification or authentication. Now, in this case, we'll be using INJI wallet, but in real-time scenario, eSignet login can work with any digital wallet. So if you already have a digital wallet working for you, you can integrate it with eSignet and use that particular wallet to log in with your verifiable credentials. One more point I want to highlight here is that you might hear a term like VC, which is nothing but a short form for verifiable credentials. Okay, so we'll use verifiable credentials to log into the telecom portal. Now, let's go through the steps. So as a step one, we'll go to the telecom portal. Then the user will be asked to choose which auth factor they want to continue with. Here we'll choose INJI Mobile App as the preferred mode of authentication. Now, once that is done, a QR code will be shown. The user will scan the QR code using this INJI wallet and they'll do a process over the INJI wallet. We'll see that in the demo. Once that is done and the authentication is completed, user will be shown a consent screen where there will be a list of claims that they can choose to share with the relying party, which is in this case the telecom portal. Now, these claims will be voluntary to be chosen by the user. So if they want, they can also not decide not to choose some of the claims so that they are not shared with the relying party. So now once this consent is given, that's where the login process is completed. So after that, the control is transferred back to the telecom portal. And on the telecom portal, now user will start to fill the details to apply for an eSIM. They will fill in the some information about the plan they want to use, some information about their mobile or SIMs, and then they'll apply for it. And once they submit the application, they'll be allotted a eSIM. So that's a process on the high level. So let's jump into the demo and see how this is all coming together. So if you see here on the left, I have my mobile screen. This is where I'll be using the INJI wallet. And on the right, there's a web browser. On the web browser, you can see we have collab.mosip.net opened. So now our collab environment is the sandbox environment where all our applications are hosted. So here, if you go to the use cases tab, you will see the second tab is for eSIM issuance with national ID. There is a link to navigate to the user guide. Once you click on it, you will be redirected to a user guide. It is a guide that we have added in our eSignet docs. This guide talks about what the use case is and how you can self-experience it step by step. So here you'll also find the link to the telecom portal that I was referring to. So this is the dummy telecom portal that we have created for this demo, and we are calling it as Fyntel Telecom. So this is where I'll start my journey. So let's say I, as a citizen, come to the Fyntel Telecom and I want to apply for an eSIM. I'll click on the Get Started. Now the control is given to the eSignet. Now eSignet is asking user which authentication factor they want to choose to log in. Now in this case, as I said earlier, we'll be choosing login with INJI Mobile App. Once I do that, there is a QR code that is displayed. So now I am going to my mobile. If you see on the left, I'll open INJI Wallet. I'm using my biometrics to unlock the application. Now, if you see at the bottom, there is a option next to the home, which is saying share. I'll click on share. It will open the back camera. And now I'll scan the QR code. Once I scan the QR code, it is asking me to choose the pre-downloaded VC that I have in my wallet. So this is the verifiable credential that I've already downloaded. And now I'm choosing it to log into the telecom portal. Once I choose it, it asks me to verify on the mobile screen. I click on verify. I click. Now it is asking me to do a local face auth. So the just to talk about the process that happened just before this step was INJI Wallet captured a photo. We call it as local face off, and it is matching the photo captured by the mobile with the photo that I have given during my national ID registration. If the photo matches, it will take me to the consent screen. Now this is a screen where I as a user will choose which claims I want to share with the relying party, which is telecom portal in this case. If you see email is given as a mandatory claim, that means the telecom portal needs the email. That means for that particular claim, I do not have a choice. But for the other claims, which are written as voluntary ones, I can choose which ones I want to share. So let's take a scenario where I choose birth date, name, phone number, and picture, but I decide not to share my gender or not to choose a gender or not to give consent to the gender claim. So once I click on allow, now, if you see on the web browser, it's still loading that it is saying it is that the authentication in progress. But now you'll see on the web browser the authentication will be completed. And now if you see on the mobile screen, it says you are successfully logged in. And on the web browser, I am logged into the telecom portal. And now I am at a form where it is asking me to fill in the details for submitting the eSIM application. Okay, so I'll just go through the steps. So it's asking me to choose a plan. I'll choose a plan. I'll click on next. Now it is asking me to enter the EID number. I'll enter it, then IMEI number. So these are the details of my smartphone. I click on next. And now if you see here, these are the personal details. So these are being fetched from the MOSIP ID system. So eSignet after, so is what eSignet does it? It helps to authenticate the user. And once the user is authenticated, it fetches the detail from the national ID system and it gives to the relying party. So now and that's where the user was giving consent. So as a user, I chose not to share my gender. So you see, the relying party does not have the details of what my gender is. The field is still blank. But whatever other fields the user decided to share with the relying party, those all are displayed here. So that's how this privacy is working here. User data privacy comes to play here. Now I'll just verify my information. I'll click on submit and that's it. I have completed my eSIM application and the process is completed. So this was in short to show how eSignet can enable the national ID authentication and this can be applied to multiple online services that a citizen can avail. Before we close the video, there are some important links I would like to share with you. So if you want to create a new MOSIP ID for yourself, you can visit the self-register portal that is also hosted on our Collab environment. You can access our Collab environment at collab.mosip.net. It has multiple other applications. You can specifically go through INJI specific use cases on how to download your VC and how to use it for different use cases. Then there is a step-by-step guide that I showed you in the demo. You can go directly there and see the different steps involved. There is a login with OTP as one of the factors. So there is a separate steps for that. You can go through it. And if you want to know more about eSignet, you can visit docs.esignet.io. And thank you for watching the video. And if you are interested, you can still go to the GitHub and check out our source code documentation link. I've already updated you. And if you find any query and if you get stuck anywhere during this process or on a eSignet as a whole, if you want to understand it in a deep and you are having some clarification, You can go to the MOSIP community and ask us questions. We'll try to help you as soon as possible. So thanks again for watching the video. Thank you.